University, Northwestern, Ohio, and the garage tonight for Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference College Basketball. We welcome our visitors, the Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines and the UNOH Racers.
We're back at Racer Gymnasium. Here's the starting lineups for the visitors from Dearborn under Coach Taylor Langley. They're 7-13, 5-6, and ranked 7th in an 11-team WHAC conference. Our starting lineups brought to you by Lima Sporting Goods at 1404 Allentown Road. See Lima Sporting Goods for great team uniform prices. Starting tonight for the Wolverines at one guard, Xavier Crawford, a 6'2 senior out of Detroit, averaging 8.8 points a ball game. The other guard is 5'9 sophomore Jalen Paul out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Trine University. He's averaging 6.3 points a ball game. On the wing, Cody Kegley, a 6'2 junior out of Yale, Michigan. He's averaging 12 points and 5 rebounds a ball game. The other wing will be Zach Latimer, a 6'4 freshman out of Mississauga, Indiana. He's averaging over 9 points per ball game. And in the post will be Jason Gigliotti. He's a 6'9 sophomore from Heartland, Michigan. He's averaging 12.2 points and 8 rebounds a ball game. Dearborn scores at 69.7 on average, but they give up 75.1. Now for the UNOH Racers and Coach Caleb Williams in his second year at UNOH. The starting guards will be Zach Montez. Zach is a 6'4 freshman out of Pickerington, Ohio. And Zach is the leading scorer on the team, averaging 16.6 points a ball game. His running mate at guard, Nate Lessing, a 6'2 sophomore out of Sydney, Ohio. He is the second leading scorer on the team at 16.2 points a ball game. On the wings will be Isaac Golson Jr., a 6'2 freshman out of Grand Blanc, Michigan. Isaac is averaging 6.3 points per ball game. The other wing will be Olsby Mercer, a 6'4 sophomore out of Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina. Mercer averaging 7.7 points per ball game. And in the post for the Racers, the 6'8 senior from Freeport, Bahamas, Willis Mackey Jr. He's averaging 12.3 points and 8 rebounds per ball game. UNOH averages 71.2 at the offensive end, but they give up an average of 80.5, and that's been the real Achilles heel for this young Racer team, trying to hold these other powerhouses in a whack down a little bit. Our three-man officiating crew tonight includes Clay Ehrman, Michael Hunter, and Mason Seiler. The Dearborn Wolverines in traveling blue, trimmed in the maize, and the Racers in the home white, trimmed in maroon, black, and silver. Women's game ended about a half hour ago. Dearborn won at 80-72, but given a real scare by this young Racer team tonight. The Lady Wolverines, number 20 in the country at NAIA. The Racers actually had a lead in the fourth quarter in that game before the pressing defense of the Wolverines finally prevailed. All right, the two centers, Gigliotti and Mackey Jr. at center court. We're ready for basketball. Here's the toss and tap, and the Wolverines control it. Pass comes to the near wing, and Cody Kegley. Kegley going to take the first shot of the night and miss off the back flange. Golson gets the Racer rebound. And I love these Michigan uniforms again. Dark blue numbers on dark blue jerseys. Boy, it's really easy to read them from this far away. Lessing has it for the Racers. Nice pass into Mackey, and he'll flush for the first two of the night.
Look for them go Mackey a lot early in this game. I think he can score down low.
Well, he'll have the athleticism over Gigliotti. Gigliotti, a sophomore, tall, lanky guy, but not with the hops that Willis Mackey has. Now the pass goes to the wing. They lob it into Gigliotti. He'll work against Mackey. Into the paint he goes, puts it up a little half hook, no good, and Mackey rebounds. Off to Zach Montes. Montes into the forecourt. Off of the weave to the left point, gets to the window. Nice touch off the glass, but it overlaid it just a bit, and the Wolves get the rebound with Gigliotti. The point guard is number 4, Jalen Paul. He's got the rock right now and gives it up to Xavier Crawford. Paul back on the dribble. Takes the shot now and misses off the iron, and it'll go all the way out of bounds to UNOH.
Mike, I was talking with Josh Brown earlier, and he was telling me that they watched a couple of tapes, and Dearborn, Michigan-Dearborn was just hot as firecrackers the last couple of games. They've been making a lot of deep threes, and he was hoping that would cool down tonight.
Well, as a team, they shoot 33% from behind the arc, so that's average or a little better. Montes now for the Racers. Pick and roll one there. Gives it back to Mercer. Finds Mackey. Left to the key. Willis into Gigliotti and lays it around and got the kind roll.
And if they can get that ball down there to him all night, he's going to have a field day.
He's got 4 and the Racers lead 4-0. Crawford's going to hand it off on the weave now to Cody Kegley. To Paul on the left side. Paul will drive through traffic back to Kegley. That's his spot, but he rims it out, and Mackey gets his second rebound.
Actually, a beautiful pass to get him that pass. He was wide open.
Holsby Mercer on the right side now for UNOH. Quickly around to Nate Lessing. He'll dump it to Montez. Open 3 in the corner, but no good. Rebound Xavier Crawford. Crawford's a senior out of Detroit. Averages just under 9 points a ball game. Gigliotti to Paul on the left side. Jalen will drive to the baseline. Good defense by Isaac Golson, and the Racers create a turnover. Montes wraparound pass Mercer. He'll finish. And timeout called by Coach Taylor Langley. Not happy at all with his Dearborn Wolverines right now. We get a quick break, and we'll take it as well. 6-0 Racers. We're back in 30 seconds on UNOHRacers.com at 1150 WIMA.
I'm Kylie Fritz, and I'm from Delphus, and I'm a UNOH student. I chose to come to UNOH because of the small class sizes. It was close to home, and I knew I had the opportunity to be a cheerleader.
Okay, that's right.
UNOH is a family tradition for us because my brother, my sister, my brother-in-law, and even my grandmother graduated from here. I would definitely recommend UNOH to anyone looking for a great university experience. I'm proud to be a Racer.
Did you know the University of Northwestern Ohio has the lowest tuition cost in the state for private colleges and is the largest university in the region? It's no wonder why more and more...
All right, we're back in action. It was a quick 30-second timeout. We had to run a 60 there. Our apologies, but the Racers have grabbed another rebound off a missed Dearborn shot. Mackey gets too far under to shoot, finds Golson. Golson will get into the paint, weave to the window, and miss. Rebound controlled by Xavier Crawford.
It's a nice move. He just kind of lost the ball when he went up to shoot.
I think it came off his hand. I think you're right, Bobby. Lost control of that finger roll tip that he tried to put in there. Gigliotti now on the weave to Kegley. Kegley at the free throw line, lost his feed, and now to the wing it goes, and that shot is no good by Zach Latimer, and the Racers get another rebound. It's been one and done for Dearborn. They haven't got an offensive rebound yet, which is a good sign for UNOH fans. 6-0 Racers have the lead 4 minutes deep into the first half. Golson a 3 from the right wing, no good. Rebound on the near wing, Zach Latimer.
He had Mackey one-on-one inside. He should have got the ball in there.
Now Jalen Paul gives it off to Kegley. Kegley through traffic, gets to the rim and scores the first 2 tonight for Dearborn.
Nice move by Kegley.
Cody Kegley gets his first 2 of the night. Kegley averages 12 a ball game plus 5 rebounds. 6-2 Racers, and Lessing's shot comes up short. Rebounded by Jalen Paul, the sophomore out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Attended Trine University before going up to Dearborn. Gigliotti, the postman, goes inside against Mackey and gets to the rim to score. Jason Gigliotti, so a 4-0 run out of the timeout has the Wolverines right back down by 2. Zach Montes for the Racers off the left side. Gets a screen to the line, gets to the rim and missed. Rebound try, tipped and controlled by the Wolverines. Nice look into the forecourt to Jalen Paul. On the wing now, Latimer's shot, no good. Racers get the rebound. Nobody in blue within 15 feet of the basket for that rebound.
Racers got to get the ball back inside to Mackey, Mike. If it's there, let him have it.
Right. Mackey playing the high post right now. Montes takes it to the wing. There's the pass to Mackey. Mackey One-on-one against Gigliotti. Will he try to school him? They double-team him. Good wraparound pass, but it was knocked away and almost stolen. Mackey picks up the loose ball, hits a 12-footer.
A good defensive effort that time by the Wolverines. It's kind of a bit of bad luck that the ball ended up with Mackey because he was wide open.
8-4 Racers. 6 minutes deep into the first half. Cody Kegley with it between the circles. Top of the key to Gigliotti at the left point. Now Paul off the screen to the right wing. Kegley takes the pass, guarded by Nate Lessing. They feed Gigliotti right baseline. Gigliotti trying to work on inside on Mackey. Little left-hand hook, no good. Rebound Racers and Mackey again. Willis playing good defense without fouling. That's a good sign. He's been prone to that early on. Olsby Mercer backed into the far corner. Releases a pass to Monas, and the Racers set it up. Monas drives, spins, and dishes. Mackey thought about a three. Will get inside and lose control of his dribble. Turnover Racers. In transition, Kegley stops inside the lane. Dumps to Crawford on the left wing. Back to Kegley for three. No, off the front rim. Monas gets the rebound for UNOH.
UNOH has to take care of this cold spell right now.
Here's Golson with a ball fake. Got into traffic, and then they knock it away from him, but foul him. In the process, that'll allow the Racers to come with bench players, Justin Kemp and Laji Samura.
Dearborn very cold from the field right now, so UNOH has to take advantage of that.
And we'll get our media timeout, our first of the ball game. Racers 8, Dearborn 4. You're on UNOHRacers.com and here in Lima on 1150 WIMA. Hi, with Bob Sagerson, Mike Weldon back here at Racer Gymnasium on the Citizens National Bank scoreboard. It's 8-4 UNOH, and we've got the first two subs in tonight for Dearborn now. Mafian Joyner, their leading scorer, number 23, comes off the bench, as well as Matt Mignault, a 6'6 sophomore out of Swartz Creek, Michigan. He is wearing number 15 in the maize and blue, and the free throw shooter for UNOH will be Isaac Golson. Two cuts coming for Golson, and the first one is good. Isaac, for the year, a 63% free throw shooter.
It's a big moment in every game when they go to the bench for the first time and bring in two replacements to sub for Mackey and for Olsby Mercer. And Justin Kemp, a 6'7 freshman, and Bailey Gardner, a 6'5 freshman, come in, and this is a critical time for UNOH. They've got to hold this lead and try to build on it.
All right, two free throws for Golson makes it a 10-4 lead. Biggest lead of the half for the Racers at 6. Bailey Gardner, the freshman from Pittsboro, Indiana, on the floor, along with Justin Kemp. And here's the dish to Gigliotti, and he'll score. His fourth point of the night, 10-6 Racers. Laji Samora, the redshirt freshman, as is Olsby Mercer from Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina. Gardner with the basketball out top. Gives to Lessing. Nate finds Samora. Laji drives left of the key. Now Mata's out top. Zach going to load up for a three and miss off the front rim. Rebound to Matt Mignault.
Montez has struggled a little bit from three-point land this year, Mike. He's just barely over 30%.
All righty. He is the leading scorer for UNOH, however. But a lot of those come on when he gets to the rim. He's got a great quick first step in traffic. Xavier Crawford now will spin and shoot and miss off the left flange. And the rebound out of bounds. Nope, it's going to be a foul called on the Wolverines. That's on Gigliotti, and that's his second personal foul now.
Gigliotti was behind. It was a good box out that time, and he tried to reach over the defender inside of him, and he kind of a careless foul.
Reed Sellers going to come off the bench, another 6'9". He's a redshirt freshman out of Milford, Michigan. He replaces Gigliotti, who goes to the bench. Racers work the perimeter. Samora looks to Montes. He'll drive and then dish. Corner three, Gardner. Yes, Bailey Gardner.
Well, that's what Gardner does, Mike. He comes in and nails three. He's got 27 now on the year, and he shoots 37%, now 38%. And that's a pretty good number when you're shooting from three.
7-point Racer lead at 13-6. It's their biggest. Mafian Joyner now. Joyner off the double team, can't find a shot. This three is on its way, no good. Racers box out, and a nice play by Montes to get the rebound. Great box out by Zach, and then he got the loose ball. Then it's taken away from him, and a good defensive play by Jalen Paul. Second turnover for UNOH, but a travel was going to give it right back to him on the second turnover for the Wolverines.
That time,
Mafian Joyner got a little out of control.
Montez tried to get by Paul that time, and Paul, little guy, he just kind of took the dribble right away from him as he was driving to the basket.
Racers lead 13-6 here with 9 minutes gone in the first half. 11 to play till the break. Justin Kep is fouled. That's going to be on Jalen Paul. First foul on Jalen, team foul number 3, as Isaac Golson comes back in to give Montes a well-earned rest. He's played the first 9 minutes of the first half. So the Racers now have just one starter on the floor, or two starters, Golson and Lessing. Golson with it now, inside for Kep. Kep can't find a handle for a minute, then gets it, then missed the shot, but then got a bailout foul call. So Justin missed the point-blank bunny under pressure, and they called a foul. Reed Sellers picks up his first, so the two big guys for Dearborn now have 3 of their 4 team fouls. Justin Kep at the free throw line for UNOH, and the first one no good, and Kep really struggles at the line, only 29%.
Yeah, that's one of those things where...
That's a hard... I don't know that I've ever read a number in the 20s for a season average, and he misses that one, and that's why. For some reason, Justin really struggles at the line.
And don't you think that everybody in the league doesn't know that, too?
All righty, Racers give up control off of the rebound. Paul tries to get inside, but a whistle. This is going to be on UNOH and Nate Lessing on the reach. First foul on Nate and first team foul on the Racers.
Both teams have kind of stalled here offensively in the first 10 minutes of the game, actually. And neither team has been able to take advantage of the other team's poor shooting.
All right, 3 new players come in for Dearborn. And the shot is going to be put up and in, and that was Cody Kegley. 4 for Kegley, and the Racers' lead is cut to 5. Willis Mackey back on the floor for the Racers now. Samora finds Mackey. He'll go right to the rim and score. And this match inside for Willis.
That's where that ball's got to go. Every time down the floor, Mike, they just don't have anybody can guard him.
All right. Mafian Joyner out top, gets to the right point, gives it up on the wing to Zach Latimer. Now a shot by Reed, and that 3 is off. And then the rebound, though, is put up and in nicely by Joyner. So Joyner cleans up the glass at the offensive end and gets his first 2.
He got position on Lessing that time. Lessing did not box him out.
15-10 Racers with the ball in the lead. Mackey on the right baseline against Reed. Will go inside hard and score again. Willis Mackey Jr. with 10.
They're going to have to start going down and double team him. Dearborn will double team him now. They're not going to let him do that.
Reed Sellers is 6'9", but he's razor thin and certainly doesn't have the experience and physicality of Willis Mackey. And he's paying for it right now, trying to defend him. Meanwhile, the Wolverines play on the wing. Jared Jackson gives it up to the block for Joyner. Backside pass stolen away by Mackey. Turnover 3 for the Wolverines.
Great play by Mackey that time.
17-10 UNOH. They're at their biggest lead. 9 minutes left first half. Bailey Gardner for the Racers, top of the circle. Right side for Mackey. Willis is going to drive and score again. We had a little flop on the far side that time by Reed Sellers. Mackey went right around him. Reed just flopped to the floor, no whistle. And Mackey just got to the rim easily. 19-10 Racers now by 9. Joyner for 2. No, that's rebounded by Mackey again, having a big first half.
Sure
Willis Mackey. He's got 12 points and about 6 rebounds already. Lessing gets to the rim and can't finish, and then couldn't quite grab his own rebound and went out of bounds. And we're going to get another media break. So our score on the Citizens National Bank scoreboard midway through the first half, UNOH 19 and the Dearborn 10. We're back in a minute on UNOHRacers.com and 1150 WIMA.
I'm Kylie Fritz, and I'm from Delphus, and I'm a UNOH student. I chose to come to UNOH because of the small class sizes. It was close to home, and I knew I had the opportunity to be a cheerleader. UNOH is a family tradition for us because my brother, my sister, my brother-in-law, and even my grandmother graduated from here. I would definitely recommend UNOH to anyone looking for a great university experience. I'm proud to be a racer.
Did you know the University of Northwestern Ohio has the lowest tuition cost in the state for private colleges and is the largest university in the region? It's no wonder why more and more high school seniors are choosing to attend UNOH. Accredited, achievable, affordable.
Stop by for a visit and see why over 4,500 students from around the corner and around the world call UNOH home.
UNOH Racer athletes, 14 NAIA teams, multiple defending WAC championships.
All right, back at Racer Gymnasium, 8:29 left first half. Speaking of high school basketball, Elida at Wapakoneta, our Friday night broadcast here on 1150 WIMA, Big Western Buckeye League showdown. Tomorrow night we'll have the OSU women at Penn State, women's college hoops, 7 o'clock game time here on 1150 WIMA. Right now it's Dearborn trying to rebound from a 9-point deficit. A 3-point shot is partially blocked by Willis Mackey, and it went out of bounds. Oh, they didn't see the tip. Wow, that ball never even drew iron, but Mackey got its handle on it, and I'm not sure if another Wolf touched it before it went out, but the Racers get the basketball in a break.
Dearborn now their timeout is going to play a tight zone. They're not going to let that ball inside to Mackey now, Mike.
Well, that's a smart move on the part of Coach Taylor Langley. Mackey was eating them alive, going one-on-one against their big guys. And now Bailey Gardner has it, gives it to Golson. 3-ball no. Racers get the rebound. Montes out to Gardner. He'll lock it and load again. This time he's short on the left side of the rim. And the loose ball is scrambled for. Finally, we get the held ball call. The arrow favors UNOH, so they maintain possession. Good scramble on the floor that time with Golson and Mackey going after that loose ball. And Olsby Mercer and Tanner Eubank will come in now for UNOH. Eubank, a 6'1 junior out of Paw Paw, Michigan, making her first appearance, will replace Laji Samura. And Bailey Gardner will come out as well for the Racers. Golson working between the circles. Pass to Mackey at the high post. Willis lost it a moment, and then they called him for a travel. They say it looked like he tipped the ball away and had no longer possession when he walked, but that's not according to the official on the floor.
It looked like he was actually going to go up for a shot and had the ball deflected.
Third Racer turnover of the night. UNOH leads by 9. Matt Mignault with the ball, hands it off to Jared Jackson. And now, look out, Golson went flying through the air trying to make a play on Kegley and landed on his back.
Kegley did a shot fake, and Golson went for it big time. He was way up in the air.
Yep. If there was ever a no-doubt foul in the game of basketball, that was it.
No argument there. And luckily, nobody was hurt. He was way up in the air and then caught himself on the way down. That could have been an ugly play.
All right, the two starting guards for Dearborn are back. Xavier Crawford and Jalen Paul but come in now at the dead ball, and Paul takes the inbounds pass.
For a team that was so hot the last couple of days, they've been cold. It won't be like that all the entire game. They'll get hot at one point.
Paul trying to use the screen. There's the give and go to Joyner, but he lost the handle for a moment, has to reset. Out to Xavier Crawford. Crawford backs in, little jump step, shot is on the back flange, no, tip try, no. Mackey clears for UNOH.
Mackey having a great game.
19-10 Racers, but the zone has kind of bottled up Willis Mackey for the moment. Racers have all year long struggled against zone defenses. Mercer out top to Golson. Golson gives it up to Montes. They find Mackey now inside. Willis against a triple team. Out to Montes. His three is short. Rebound to Dearborn's Zach Latimer. Cross-court pass into the corner it goes. The shot is short, and the Racers get the front rim rebound. Golson will push. Up to Montes. Montes drives left to the key. Backs it off. Finds Tanner Eubank coming inside. He will get fouled on the shot try. That'll be on Xavier Crawford.
You know, UNOH has a 9-point lead, can make that spread 11 right now, Mike. But they've got to take even more advantage of the fact that Dearborn just can't buy a shot. They've got 10 points, and this is a team that averages 69 points a game. They've got 10 points with just 6 minutes left in the half, and so UNH could even make a bigger spread right now.
Coach Caleb Williams going to open a free throw shooting school in the offseason for this team.
Yeah.
Poor Tanner Eubank is only a 48% free throw. He bricked the first one, but he got the second one up and in. So one free throw for Eubank, and the Racers lead by 10 now at 20-10.
Eubank is
been about 5 minutes since Dearborn has scored.
Eubank is a good defender, and he's a very good ball handler. He can get you into offense, but shooting is not his forte.
Well, that whistle was for a travel violation on Mafian Joyner. He tried to make a move down the left side of the paint, but got called for too many steps. So the Racers have it up 10. 6 minutes left till halftime. Mike Armbrust, the women's coach, will be our halftime guest on the Ken Page State Farm Insurance Coaches Comment segment. Here's a nice pass inside to Justin Kep from Zach Montes, and Kep converts on the left block.
Montes made that play because he passed the ball away from the defense to the rim, allowed his teammate to catch it, and just put it right up into the basket.
22-10 now. Racers by a dozen. Jalen Paul into traffic, laid it in softly off the glass. Nice move by the 5'9" sophomore.
That was a tough shot. He shot oversized and banked it in.
Against the double team, no less. And Paul only 5'9", and maybe not that tall. Here's Zach Montes. Off the dribble to the top of the key. Now Eubank back to Montes. Left side, Olsby Mercer. Olsby into traffic. And with a little jump step, threw one off wildly. Thought he got fouled, but didn't draw a whistle, and the ball's out of bounds.
Well, he didn't get the foul because he actually leaned into the defender to get the call, and he was too wide open. Everybody could see it.
22-12 Racers. 5 minutes left to play till halftime. Been a quick first half here at Racer Gymnasium. Racers will be gone now. They don't play at home again for 2 weeks. And boy, an elbow to Justin Kep's nose from Mafian Joyner. Or Crawford, was it? It was Crawford.
He took a shot.
Oh, Kep took a haymaker to the nose lip area. It was not intentional on the part of Crawford. Don't get me wrong, but he swung that elbow out as he made his spin, and boy, Kep took one right in the nose. They called a foul on Crawford, I believe.
Well, you have to.
Yes, they do.
They had to make that call. It was just too obvious.
6-team foul on Dearborn. Racers up 10. Very low-scoring first half here at Racer Gymnasium for both clubs. Tanner Eubank going to drive from the left side and then dish to the corner. Lessing goes into a double team, fades, 12-footer, roundabout, no good. Rebound tip to the Wolverines.
Lessing has yet to score in this game.
Nate Lessing and Zach Montes both without a point. And there's a three from Kegley. He's the guy you don't want to get going if you're a Racer defender. He can fill it up. Cody Kegley had 21 here in Lima last year, and timeout is called by Coach Caleb Williams and the UNOH Racers. 30-second break. So on the Citizens National Bank scoreboard, UNOH 22 and Dearborn 15. We're back in 30 seconds on UNOHracers.com at 11:50 WIMA.
I'm Kylie Fritz, and I'm from Delphus, and I'm a UNOH student. I chose to come to UNOH because of the small class sizes. It was close to home, and I knew I had the opportunity to be a cheerleader. UNOH is a family tradition for us because my brother, my sister, my brother-in-law, and even my grandmother graduated from here. I would definitely recommend UNOH to anyone looking for a great university experience. I'm proud to be a racer.
Did you know the University of Northwestern Ohio has the lowest tuition cost in the state for private colleges and is the largest university in the region? It's no wonder why more and more high schools see.
Shut the scoring down. Willis Mackey Jr. has 12 of the Racer 22, and Montez finds an opening on the left side, drives to the rim and lays it in.
And the first 2 points of the first half by the two leading scorers for UNOH, and they still have a 9-point lead.
And here come the Wolverines with Jalen Paul off the high screen. Gets inside, and the block by Mercer, and then the ball was out of bounds off of a Racer. Boy, Olsby Mercer made a great defensive play there to take the ball away from Jalen Paul. Tried to bounce it off Paul, but actually bounced it off one of his own teammates out of bounds.
Paul is only 5'9", and that's liberal. And he is not afraid to attack the basket. He's not afraid to attack size.
Sophomore out of Fort Wayne, played at Tryon University over in Fort Wayne before going to Dearborn. Nice inbound pass, but then the shot is missed by Xavier Crawford. Racers get the loose ball rebound. Isaac Golson into the forecourt. Montes takes the pass, and away from the ball, we're going to get an offensive foul on the Racers, I believe, and Nate Lessing.
Lessing had Paul locked up with an arm, and he's kind of taking him with him, trying to get position inside.
Second personal on Nate Lessing. Team foul 3 on UNOH here in the half, so they played good team foul ball, only 3 personal fouls, but that was their 4th turnover. 9-point Racer lead, down to 3:25 on the first half clock. Jalen Paul gives it up to Crawford on the left wing, and a whistle. Tanner Eubank called for the reach-in foul. His first, team's 4th. If Dearborn fouls again, the Racers will be in the bonus because the Wolves have 6 team fouls at the moment. They lob it in on the left wing to Latimer. Back inside it goes, and then the shot will go up and in with a foul. Xavier Crawford made a nice move on the block that time and gets to the line.
Michigan-Dearborn staying in this game with their size on the bench with foul trouble.
We're going to see Gigliotti come back in now, the starting center, the 6'9" sophomore from Heartland, Michigan. But Crawford is going to get 1 at the line here, trying to make it a 3-point play. First free throw attempt tonight for Dearborn. And the shot is good. So Crawford makes it a 3-point play, and suddenly it's a 6-point game. 24-18 UNOH. Some pressure now from the Wolverines on the inbounds pass. Comes into Eubank. Now to Montez. Now Golson, and he'll bring it across the timeline. Over to Montez, top of the circle. 18 on the shot clock. Racers trying to set up a play. Caleb Williams calling one from the other end of the floor. Eubanks has it now for UNOH. Off to Montez on the wing, 8 to shoot. Back to Eubanks in the corner. Golson, open 3, but it's way off target. He missed everything. Wow. Didn't even draw iron.
He's wide open. It was a great play.
Yep. Good look. Had it, caught it in rhythm, just totally missed. So the Wolverines can get to within 4 or 3. As Kegley gives it off. This is a 3 by Mafian Joyner. No good. Long rebound UNOH. Boy, Dearborn, when they shoot from outside, they don't even think about going to the offensive glass. I think about 6 rebounds the Racers have had where there's not a blue shirt in sight. And Willis Mackey Jr. takes a pass about 10 feet away, turns, shoots, and scores his 14th point of the half.
I think every time he's touched the ball at the offensive end, he scored, Mike.
26-18 Racers. 2 minutes and change to play till halftime. There's a shot by Paul that's off target and out of bounds. It'll be Racer basketball. He missed the iron and it fell underneath the hoop and went over the end line.
Wolverines in a three-quarter court trapping defense. Basically, it's designed just to take time off the clock so that UNOH hasn't got a lot of shot clock left when it can finally set up.
I think I said Gigliotti was back in, but it's actually Reed Sellers, the other 6'9" youngster for Dearborn. Montes takes the pass, gives to Eubank inside Mackey. Mackey into a double team, shoots anyway, no whistle, and the ball is rejected and taken away by the Wolverines. So good interior defense on the double team. Joyner's going to get to the rim and lay it in with the left hand. Mafian Joyner. 26-20 Racers, 90 seconds left in the half. Good ball movement. Racers get Montez. Now Mackey. Guarded out on the right wing, brings it out top, Eubank. They work the perimeter with 11 to shoot. Montes with the basketball. Right side for Eubank. Eubank gonna give it to Golson. He's open. Will that three go? Yes, much better stroke by Isaac Golson Jr., his first basket and his 5th point.
I think that time Dearborn really didn't pay a lot of attention to Golson. They dared him to shoot it.
50 seconds left in the half, 29-20 UNOH. Kegley off the dribble, shoots a 15-footer and misses. Racers get the rebound with Zach Montes. Back into the forecourt, good pass to Golson, an open three this side on the right, or the left side, no. Mercer the rebound to the rim, with one, he scores. Olsby Mercer, great ball fake. He got airborne and gave a shoulder fake to his left and then the finger roll with his right hand and drew the foul on number 23, Mafian Joyner.
Michigan, Dearborn staying in that zone. A lot of times when you have zone, Mike, defenders tend to stand instead of boxing out. That time they left the rebounding lanes open, and Mercer take advantage of it.
And Mercer misses the free throw, so the Racers only 3 of 7 at the line in the half, but they lead by 11. Their biggest lead has been 12, and Dearborn has never led. So we're down to the shot clock and game clock almost identical here. Wolverines work the clock a little bit. Reed has it, gives to Jalen Paul. Now 8 to shoot and 9.5. Paul will get it around on Mackey, turn and shoot and put it in. Nice job, Jalen Paul. Racers will throw up about a 70-footer that time and miss, but the half is over and the Racers are going to go to the locker room with an 8-point lead. Our halftime score on the Citizens National Bank scoreboard here at Racer Gymnasium, UNOH 31 and Dearborn 22. Coming up, our Ken Page State Farm Coaches Comment segment. But first, a 2-minute timeout. You're watching Racer Basketball on UNOHRacers.com. You're listening to Racers Basketball on 1150 WIMA. 2-minute break here, Dave, and then we'll do some interview, and then we'll take the Ken Page spot on its own, and then I'll do another 2-minute break at the end of the half. All right, we're back at the UNOH Racer Gymnasium, part of the Cupid Hamburger broadcast booth here on game night in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. Good half for the Racers. They lead Dearborn 31-22 at the break. Committed only 4 turnovers that first half and got a big 14-point performance from Willis Mackey Jr., the 6'8 senior out of Freeport, Bahamas. So Racers have the 8-point lead. Our guest at halftime on the Ken Page State Farm Insurance Coaches Comment segment is Mike Armbruster, the women's coach here at UNOH, whose team fell by 8 tonight, 80-72 to the number 20 team in the country. But Mike, in many respects, I thought you played your best basketball game of the year tonight.
I would agree with you, Mike. That's the frustrating thing.
With one glaring
stat. I thought we held them to 14% from the three-point line. I thought was great. The only reason why they shot 47% overall is because we turned the ball over 25 times and they got 38 points off those turnovers. So they got half their points because we gave it to them. So that was an extremely frustrating situation.
You can't hide that stat, unfortunately.
No, we didn't win the offensive board battle. We won the other defensive board. We won field goal percentage, three-point field goal percentage, free throw percentage, and then to have that one glaring issue kind of put us in the grave was very frustrating.
All right, but on the bright side, you had 4 players in double figures tonight. You had Kiara Kane kind of have a breakout freshman game for that young lady.
Had a heck of a second half. Was extremely aggressive, drove it to the basket. They really couldn't handle her length and athletic ability. She's got pretty good hands around the basket. The one shot she missed, she offensive rebound her own miss and put it right back in. So can't have a whole lot negative to say about Kier, and then when she scores, she really can sit down and get long and defend, so that was good to see as well.
Well, the Wolverines got to the free throw line 19 times and made 15, but they've got a lot of veteran players inside, and they were tough to handle.
Yeah, they've got a great team. Sade Lemons, number 32, a very good player. She got us for 16, and then number 1, their point guard, really got in there and sliced and diced, and we just had to do a better job containing her.
Well, that's as Coach Sagerson often says, if you're gonna start a team, you want to go out and find yourself a prototype point guard.
Absolutely.
And Rajane Wells is definitely that, and only a sophomore.
Yes, absolutely. Yep, she's a very good player. I really like her.
All right, we talked before the night even started here tonight, Mike, about you're looking always forward to the future and looking at the recruiting class. Let's tell our Lima fans who are listening tonight on 1150 WIMA maybe a little bit about what you have coming in the pipeline, because you got a very young group to start with.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to graduate a couple people out of here, and so Dukes on our starting point guard, Tish Johnson. They're seniors. They're on track to get their degrees. Tish will have hers at the end of spring. Tish will have hers at the end of this term. So very proud of them, both with well over 3.0 GPAs, and so whenever you have some good kids like that graduate, you got to make sure you replace them. Coming in out of Akron, St. Vincent St. Mary's is a girl named Jada Haynes. We're extremely excited about her. She was our first commitment of the 2019 season, or 2019 class. Dynamic guard, plays the wing, can play the point a little bit. Just a very good combo. I think we're going to play her at the wing. Can attack the basket real well, can shoot it pretty well, and so hopefully do a good job playing opposite of Emily.
Well, anytime you say Akron St. Vincent St. Mary, everybody thinks, oh, LeBron James.
I know.
If she's got 1/100th the talent of LeBron James, she'll be great.
So that good, yeah. And we're pretty heavy on a point guard out of New Knoxville named Erin Scott. We really like her a ton. Just a tough-nosed point guard. Come in here and put the ball where we need to have her put it. Defends. Really like Grace O'Connor out of Shawnee High School here in Lima. Shoots it really, really well. And then one of my assistant coaches used to be a high school coach actually in the Memphis area. And one of the kids that played for her the last few years is a senior this year playing for a different coach. Very good inside-outside 6-foot kid that can really shoot the three really, really well. But also can play the block and pass a little bit. So just an all-around good player. So we're trying to go out to her pretty hard as well. So we will see kind of how that all pans out.
Mike, a lot of Lima fans are not really familiar with the scholarship overall role at the NAIA level. If you can briefly explain, how are you able to give out scholarships, and like, do you have a total pool of money that you draw to, and then you kind of decide who gets how much? Is that
absolutely. Dr. Jarvis here at the UNOH has been very generous with our ability to go and give scholarships to players, to be able to go and get high-quality people and high-quality athletes in here and high-quality students. And so we kind of have a pool of money that we're able to kind of pick and choose how much we want to offer each player. But a lot of scholarship money available at different levels in our program going forward here. And we're excited about kind of what the future holds next year as we build on this year.
Good. And I know another thing that the university is really committed to is to try to broaden the academic opportunities, especially for the women, because that was the knock on this place, when we first started 12, 13 years ago, weren't many classes that the girls would like.
Right,
well,
absolutely.
That's changed a lot over the years.
I was bringing sports marketing management here has been a really big thing for athletics, not just females but males, and not just women's basketball players but women's softball players, volleyball players, women's tennis players, women's golfers.
Right.
That's really done a great thing. And then I think you look at the healthcare administration program that we have here, can really put you in a solid position if you want to be more medically geared or in that direction to go and run a doctor's office, to go and run a hospital, to go and run a physical therapy clinic, things like that. And so I think we're doing a good job of building those things.
Well, Mike, we appreciate your time. Good luck to you. I know you got a tough road trip coming up. See you back here in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mike Armbrust, the women's basketball coach at UNOH, part of our Ken Page State Farm Insurance Coaches Comment segment. Now let's hear a word from Ken Page, and we'll be back and look at our stats after this on 1150 WIMA. All righty, we're back at Racer Gymnasium and here at the Kewpie Hamburgers broadcast booth. I'm Mike Mullen, Bob Sagerson alongside. Racers have the 31-22 halftime lead, a 9-point lead at the half, as the Racers did a great job in the first half, particularly Willis Mackey Jr., but it's been a while since we've seen Nate Lessing, their second leading scorer, have a big goose egg on halftime, Bob.
Well, I was looking at that, Mike, and if you look at the top three scores for Dearborn, between them they have 15 points, and that's with a couple of bench minutes with foul trouble. You look at the UNOH top two scores, you only have 2 points between them, which to me is a good sign because they have a 9-point lead, and you're not going to hold those two players, Lessing and Montez, to 2 points for a game, so they're going to get hot at some point. I think a big in this game is the fact that Dearborn only has 22 points, and this is a team that has been shooting lights out the last couple games. So you know that in the second half they're going to make a run at this and they're going to get hot. The key will be that at some point UNOH is going to get hot too. They did shoot about 45% from the field in the first half, while Dearborn was only shooting 32% and only 1 for 10 from three, and they've been shooting it pretty good from three recently. So we'll see what happens here.
All right, Racers did out-rebound the Wolverines 22-17 in the first half. Racers had 7 assists to only 3 for Dearborn, and the Racers committed only 4 turnovers. The Wolverines had 5. So the Racers won the assist-turnover battle, and they won the rebounding battle, and that's always a good sign. Willis Mackey had his best first half of the year, getting 7 field goals and 8 shot attempts, along with 6 rebounds and 1 steal. So Willis, with a career high of 17, hopefully will eclipse that here in the second half. Speaking of the second half, it's up next after a 2-minute timeout. You're listening to Racer Basketball on UNOHRacers.com and here in Lima on 1150 WIMA.
Leading scores at the net.
All righty, moments away from the second half start. Racers lead 31-22 over UM-Dearborn. And Bob, a tough road test ahead for Caleb Williams and company. On Saturday, weather permitting, they're at Siena Heights. They're receiving votes. Then they go to number 25 Indiana Tech. Then they go to number 6 Cornerstone before coming back here 2 weeks from tonight.
Yeah, that's a tough way to go. I was sitting here watching these teams come back out on the floor, Mike. I'm wondering what the Wolverine coach was thinking at halftime when he looked at the stats and realized his team has been out-rebounded by 9, which is not something they're used to seeing, especially from UNOH, and that is oftentimes a sign of a passive team, allowing another team to out-rebound you. So I got a feeling he'll let a fire under these kids. You'll see a little more fire out of UM-Dearborn in the second half as they try to get the ball to the rim and see if they can raise that shooting percentage a little bit. 1 for 10 from 3, too, Mike. They're not used to that. So hopefully the Racers can maintain this defensive intensity that they've held this Michigan-Dearborn team to 22 points at halftime. That's got to be a low for them on the year.
All righty, Wolverines have the ball to start the half, and the same starting 5 are on the floor as we're at the start of the ball game for each team. Xavier Crawford gives it off to Latimer. Down the corner to Cody Kegley. Kegley will back it to the wing left side. Cody going to ball fake, then the pick and roll, and the shot is missed, but a bailout foul against Jason Gigliotti. A little late call that time, but they called the foul on Zach Montes, and that's his first in the first of the half, of course, against UNOH. The free throw shooter, Jason Gigliotti, sophomore out of Heartland at 6'9". He's a 61% free throw shooter.
Mike, he came out on the perimeter and set a pick, and both defenders went with the shooter, and he was wide open. The backside defense, Lessing, came over a little too late, and they were lucky that it's not an old-fashioned three-point play because he had an easy lay-in.
Well, he missed the first free throw. Second one is up and good. Well, 1 out of 2, and that's the 5th point for Gigliotti tonight, and the first made free throw, or the second made free throw rather, for the Wolverines. Little pressure, ball tossed cross court to Olsby Mercer. Mercer out top to Nate Lessing, now Montes, now Golson. Quickly to Mackey on the baseline. Isaac throws it far corner. Lessing shoots a 3 and misses. Still hasn't scored in the game tonight. Wolverines rebound and come the other way with Kegley. Xavier Crawford takes the pass, goes to the rim and can't get it, and the rebound controlled by UNOH and Nate Lessing.
Dearborn has missed their first 2 shots, and they were pretty easy shots, Mike.
Well, they got to the rim twice in a row and couldn't convert. See if the Racers can take advantage. They're up 9 at 30. Actually 31-23. They're up 8 after the free throw made. Perimeter ball movement by UNOH. Lessing has it. They got Mercer open at the foul line for a jumper, but it rimmed out, and then the rebound goes all the way to the wing and off the hand of Isaac Golson out of bounds. Dearborn basketball.
Racers are going to get good looks against this zone, but the zone is designed not to let the ball get inside to Willis Mackey, who had 14 points.
Well, he scored the first 6 times he had the ball on point-blank shots at the rim. Then they played the zone, and Mackey was 1 of 2 from about 12 feet the rest of the half. Kegley, wide open 3 straight away for the Wolves, but he can't find it, and the rebound is out of bounds off of Willis Mackey Jr.'s foot. He claimed it went off the other foot, but not so, says Clay Ehrman. And we're going to get a timeout called by the Racers, a quick 30 here to just kind of regroup. I think Caleb Williams wants to check things over.
Well, in the last 2 possessions, UNOH's defense fell apart and left a Dearborn player wide open on the perimeter, literally wide open, and I think they came out kind of asleep, and I think Caleb is trying to wake him up right now. I can hear him from here, and he does not want them playing a passive half because Michigan is going to get hot at some point. They're going to have to figure this out.
Well, the Racers have been prone as a very young basketball team to go through these periods, Bob, in a game where they just kind of lose focus a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's the purpose of a good head coach with a young team, is to call the timeout just like he did right there, and say, okay, guys, we still got an 8-point lead. Let's not get flustered. Just go back to what we were doing late first half.
And Michigan's best success has been attacking the rim off the dribble. They've had a lot of success with that. They're not hitting the three well at all tonight, but they've had success in driving to the basket.
All right, Dearborn will inbounds from across the way. Xavier Crawford will toss it in. And he gets it into Kegley. Now out to Jalen Paul, the point guard. Jalen out near the timeline. Guarded by Golson. Racers switch up defensively. Kegley takes Lessing inside, and then the double team stops him. And on the baseline, nice move by Gigliotti against Mackey. Mackey kind of let him go at the end, not fouled him. And that's 7 points tonight for Jason Gigliotti. Racers break the press, get Mackey the ball in the far left corner. 31-25, UNOH with the ball and the lead. Racers have led the entire time. They were off to a 6-0 lead and led by as many as 12 in the first half. Again, the perimeter ball movement against the zone by the Racers. Golson will have it over to Montez in the corner. Zach gets inside, finds Mercer. Finger roll good at the buzzer for Olsby Mercer from Zach Montez. 6 for the sophomore out of Fuquay Varina, North Carolina. Cody Kegley for the Wolves gives it to Jason Paul. Jalen Paul, I beg your pardon. Jalen will drive left to the key. Nothing there. Now to Zach Latimer. Out top for Kegley. 9 to shoot. Kegley into a double team. Fires to the wing. Paul releases and hits a three. Jalen Paul, only the second three made tonight by the Wolverines. But they've cut the lead to 5, and again, no press. Racers break the press. Mackey ahead of the crowd. Into the lane. Will stop the dribble at the top of the key and then give it off to Golson. Back into Willis Mackey. Mackey right block against Gigliotti. Turns, gets to the rim, lays it in. 16 for Willis Mackey. 1 away from tying his career high. Next basket, he'll set an all-time career high for himself here at UNOH.
Taylor Langley off the bench, the coach, and calling for a double team. You know, when Mackey gets the ball, he says, double him, double him. He wants 2 men on him at all times.
All right, Jalen Paul has it, right side for Kegley. Cody will back it off, still on the dribble. Gets a screen, goes to the baseline, threw it out top to Crawford. Whistle, travel on Jalen Crawford. Or Xavier Crawford, I'm sorry. That is turnover 6 for the Maize and Blue. (16-12) to play in our basketball game. UNOH up 7 at 35-28. They led by 8 at the halftime break.
Neither team
by 9 at the halftime break.
Neither team has really gotten into a hot streak yet, Mike.
Golson for the Racers, cross court to Lessing. Lessing will drive into traffic, gets to the window, still can't find the bottom of the well. Wow. And the rebound comes down to Gigliotti. Nate Lessing has the lid on the hoop tonight for him, the sophomore out of Sidney Fairlawn High School.
That's a shot he usually makes, Mike.
Paul goes right through everybody around to the baseline, releases out top for a three by Cody Kegley. It's good. That's 2 of them now this half for the Wolverines from behind the arc after hitting only 1 of 10 in the first half.
Well, Kegley's got 98 threes on the year.
35-31 Racers. Golson to Lessing, inside Mercer. Thought about it. Nice look to Golson in the far right corner. He releases, and it went up and over the backboard, out of play.
This zone is designed to stuff the middle so that the ball can't get into Mackey, and it's giving up wide open looks from 3. And if UNOH is going to win this game, Mike, somebody's going to have to nail several threes in this second half.
All righty, Jalen Paul walks it across center court line with 15 minutes left in the ball game. Delivers to Kegley on the left wing. Cody guarded by Lessing. Now to Latimer. Latimer against Zach Montes. Xavier Crawford has it now. Gives it up, gets it back, takes Mercer baseline, got too far under to shoot, stepped on the end line out of bounds. Crawford can't believe it. He was kind of bumped out by Mercer, but the call goes against Xavier Crawford. That's their 7th turnover and 2nd of the half. Racers work against pressure in the backcourt. Isaac Golson finds Lessing. And the bounce pass kicked out of bounds at midcourt by Crawford. Caleb Williams telling his guys, get the ball up against that press. Don't be dribbling around in the backcourt. You got an open pass ahead of you. Lessing will inbound to Montez now. They come to double him. Back to Nate Lessing. Lessing on the far wing. Again, Mont is out top. He and Lessing play toss. Mont is with it off a screen now. Back to Nate. Open three. Will that go? No. Nate Lessing still with a lid on the hoop. But that's his shot. You know, you'll take that 8 out of 10 times and make it. Here's the lob pass to Gigliotti, the 6'9" sophomore, into Kegley, and Kegley will score over Zach Montez. Kegley from the right block now has a dozen, and the Racer lead is trimmed to 2.
Kegley just beat Montez to the spot that time.
Montez, top of the key, down the left of the lane, nothing there. Backs to the wing, gives it up to Golson. Racers just need to find somebody to score right now. Montez and Lessing through 27 minutes of basketball having 2 points. Well, now Montez gets his 4th point of the night. Thought he got fouled as well, but no call.
Well, he really wanted that call. He was hit in the air.
33 rather. Racers up by 4 again. Backside pass, Gigliotti can't handle it on the baseline. The pass a little too hard for the 6'9" sophomore to grab, and it went off his fingertips out of bounds.
He had rubbed Mackey off a pick at the elbow and was wide open underneath. It's just a bad pass.
Taylor Langley with a chagrined look on his face after that one misfired. Now Mercer through traffic. Nice play to Montez on the right wing. Zach against Kegley. Goes through traffic into a double team, and a held ball is called. Good defense from the Wolverines. Arrow, though, favors UNOH. They'll keep possession. But we're going to have 3 new players for the Racers. Laji Samora, Bailey Gardner, Justin Kep. At about the 7-minute mark, which is about what Caleb Williams does, runs his starters for 6 to 7 minutes, then brings in the next group.
Well, hopefully Gardner gets a couple looks from 3 here, Mike, because he's the one that can break up his zone.
All right, Zach Mont is with the basketball. Looks for help, needs a pass, finds Samora on the left wing. Only 6 to shoot. Lessing in for Ken. That'll take it away. Nice defense from Kegley. Took the ball away from Nate Lessing. First turnover this half for UNOH. Fadeaway Lattimore, 12-footer on the baseline. No rebound for Montez of UNOH. Racers lead by 4 with the ball. 12:40 left in the basketball game. Samora looks under for Kep, and it went through his hands out of bounds. Back-to-back turnovers for the home team.
Not a good pass that time. His pass actually led him out of bounds.
We're going to get a break in the action on the Citizens National Bank floorboard. It's UNOH 37, Dearborn 33. We're back in 1 minute on UNOHRacers.com and here in Lima on 1150 WIMA.
I'm Kylie Fritz, and I'm from Delphus, and I'm a UNOH student. I chose to come to UNOH because of the small class sizes. It was close to home, and I knew I had the opportunity to be a cheerleader. UNOH is a family tradition for us because my brother, my sister, my brother-in-law, and even my grandmother graduated from here. I would definitely recommend UNOH to anyone looking for a great university experience. I'm proud to be a Racer.
Did you know the University of Northwestern Ohio has the lowest tuition cost in the state for private colleges and is the largest university in the region? It's no wonder why.
I got action here in the second half following the timeout. Racers defended well now at the forecourt at the offensive end with Lessing giving off to Bailey Gardner. Nothing there. The zone really creating problems for this Racer offense. Montez back off 17-footer. Bullseye from behind the foul line. Zach Montez now with 6.
Get him started. He's got to attack the defense. He's the scorer on the floor right now.
Montez a true scorer. He loves to have that ball in his hands and can create off the dribble. Xavier Crawford now with a quick pass to Mafian Joyner. The lane pass was too tough for Gigliotti to handle, and they turn it over again for the 4th time this half. Racers try to take advantage, almost lose it. Lessing with the far right pass to Montez that he saved from going out of bounds with a leaping play on the sideline. 14 to shoot as Montes drives, dishes to Kep to the rim, and he can't finish, but he was fouled by Mafian Joyner.
Sends Kep to the free throw line where he has just really struggled. He's due to find a rhythm at the line, Mike. He's just due. You can't shoot that kind of a percentage for a long time. You just can't.
Well, Justin Kep came in averaging only 29% for the year. He missed 2 of them in the first half, and this time it is off the back flange, no good. He's 0 for 3. So that 29 number's going down.
He's going to have to shoot 500 free throws a day in the offseason, Mike. I'm serious. If he doesn't, some young kid's going to come in here and take his time.
Justin one more time. And a better release, but he rolled around and fell off the right iron, no good. So he's 0 for 4 at the line. The Racers only 3 of 9 in the free throw department, yet they still lead by 6. 11 minutes to play. Jalen Paul to Kegley. Kegley on the left wing. They insert the pass. It was tipped away. Nice defense by Kep that time. He made up for it by creating the turnover.
Sure did.
Now a drive and a strip of the ball, but a 2-shot foul is going to be called in favor of the Racers.
I like that. I like that attitude by Bailey Gardner, the freshman from Pittsburgh, Indiana. He got the ball at the wing, and he's a three-point shooter, but he attacked the rim. And anytime you can add an attack to the rim to your game, Mike, it's just going to make your three-point shooting better because people have to back off of you.
All right, couple of free throws now for Bailey, and he misses the first one. Bailey's only a 59% free throw shooter. So this young Racer team, they've got some really good free throw shooters, and they've got some really not very good free throw shooters. Gardner misses both.
That's
wow, 3 of 11 now for the Racers. At the line, and Caleb Williams just hangs his head.
That's the kind of thing that just jumps off the stat sheet when the games are over.
There's really not much you can do about it.
Nope.
Unless the player's willing to really get to the workout area and shoot. Now we got a Racer foul that stops play with 10:36 left in the ball game.
Oh, Jalen Paul, he just is relentless in his attack to the rim, and he's not afraid to go up against the biggest players. He just finds a way to get them to move a little bit, and once he gets them off balance, he finishes, and he can draw fouls, and when you're that little among the trees, you're going to get your fair share of fouls.
Now Paul makes the first free throw. That's his 8th point. Jalen played at Trine University before going to Dearborn. He's only a sophomore, so a year last year at Trine, and now he's first year at Dearborn. He's made a big difference. Been a quality point guard. He's hits both free throws and has 9 points. 39-35 Racers. They face some token pressure. Golson across the timeline. Gives to Bailey Gardner. Now top to Samora. Nate Lessing feeds Kep. Kep to Willis Mackey, and inside goes Willis, and he's got a career-high 18. So best game as a Racer for Willis Mackey tonight, and the Racers need him big time because their top 2 scorers have only 6 points between them. 41-35 UNOH, exactly 10 minutes to play in the ball game. Cody Kegley off the dribble to the foul line. Needs some help, finds Paul. Jalen around Samora, gets to the rim, and Mackey blocked the shot. Lessing takes away the loose ball. Well, 5'9" against 6'8" isn't going to work, and then Lessing returns the favor by turning the ball over at the other end. Paul catches the pass, draws a foul, going to the rim.
Lessing is just having a nightmare game tonight. He hasn't scored, and he's been turning the ball over. But he's a competitive player, and he knows it better than anybody. I'd be really surprised if he doesn't give them some really good minutes before this game is over.
All right, we get a media timeout now. 9:41 left to play on the Citizens National Bank scoreboard. UNOH still on top by 6 at 41-35. We're back in a minute on UNOHRacers.com and here in Lima on News Radio 1150 WIMA.
I'm Kylie Fritz, and I'm from Delphus, and I'm a UNOH student. I chose to come to UNOH because of the small class sizes. It was close to home, and I knew I had the opportunity to be a cheerleader. UNOH is a family tradition for us because my brother, my sister, my brother-in-law, and even my grandmother graduated from here. I would definitely recommend UNOH to anyone looking for a great university experience. I'm proud to be a Racer.
Did you know the University of Northwestern Ohio has the lowest tuition cost in the state for private colleges and is the largest university in the region? It's no wonder why more and more high school seniors are choosing to attend UNOH. Accredited, achievable, affordable.
Stop by for a visit and see why over 4,500 students from around the corner and around the world call UNOH home.
UNOH Racer athletes, 14 NAIA teams, multiple defending WAC championships, early days, late nights, blood, sweat, and soul. On the court, on the field, at the track.
Even though the Racers are 1-9 in the conference and have no chance of making the postseason, realistically, every game like this is an important learning tool for this young ball club.
Absolutely. Caleb Williams talks about that almost every time we talk with him, that you have to have little victories within every game, and hopefully you see the maturity, and he's seeing it in his young players as they get better. And then I realize it in the off season too. These kids are going to get worked. They're going to really get some skill work done, and they'll come back. They'll all be better.
All right, Jalen Paul at the line, and he kisses in the first one. Got a good bounce off the front rim and gets him into double figures with 10.
Every time that Dearborn has closed on the Racers like they're doing right now, the Racers come up with a play.
All right, well, let's see what happens after Paul misses the second free throw. So it's still a 5-point Racer lead at 41-36. Some more to Lessing on the wing. Nate uses up a dribble back to Lodgy. They find an open Gardner, now to Golson. Golson defended really well, and Kegley took the ball right away from him. Wow. Nice defense by Cody Kegley. Jalen Paul back to Kegley on the wing. You can tell the Wolves are playing with a lot more intensity here in the second half. No doubt about that. After they scored only 22 points in the first half. Kegley launches a three, but it rimmed out on him into the hands of Bailey Gardner. Up to Lodgy Samora, and now quickly Nate Lessing. Lessing, ball movement to Golson on the left wing. That three ball won't go. Rebound to Gigliotti, the 6'9" sophomore out of Heartland, Michigan. 41-36 UNOH. The fewest number of points that Dearborn has scored all year is 51. They're at 36 right now with 8.5 minutes to play.
They'll get there.
Meanwhile, Xavier Crawford backs it off to Jalen Paul. Paul's going to shoot a three in traffic, and it's loose, and they're going to get a shot clock violation. That's a turnover. And that's the 11th of the game and 6th of the half for the Maize and Blue. Racers will bring a couple of starters back in Zach Montes and Olsby Mercer, along with Tanner Eubank. Nate Lessing, Isaac Golson, Lodgy Samura will get the rest. Willis Mackey also back on the floor now for UNOH.
Yeah, you got two of the leading scorers in this game back in the game. Montez has started to heat up, and that's a good sign. So either he or Mackey should get these shots now down the stretch here.
All right, Racers break the press, get it into the forecourt. 8 minutes and 10 seconds to play. UNOH up 5. Haven't scored in about 3 minutes, so they need a hoop. Here's Eubank. Cross court to Montez. Had an open play, didn't take it. Dumps it to the wing. Gardner an open three. That's off target. And a rebound tipped around. Mercer finally bats it out, and it'll be called throw by Montez with a fresh shot clock.
Mackey made that tip, Mike, and he's been a big factor in this game.
Willis Mackey already a career high 18 going for him tonight. Eubank takes it in the corner. They find Mackey on the right block. Willis will turn in the lane, and then the ball knocked around, and it was tipped, so no travel violation. Montez a three, can't find the range. Racer shooting not good at all tonight from beyond the arc.
Got good, hit it. Great look.
41-36, they still managed to hold on to the lead because they've been playing some solid D.
Neither team has really been able to get on track offensively.
Down to almost 7 minutes left in this ball game. Here's a three try for the Wolves. That's good, and that's Zach Latimer. First field goal tonight for the freshman from Mishawaka, Indiana. But a big one because it closes the game to 2.
He's a leading three-point shooter, Mike. He's got 48 on the year.
Well, he made one that time, and now they get a steal and a Racer foul. So Gigliotti made the steal, and Mackey grabbed him. So the Racers turn it over for the 5th time this half. They only had 4 the first half. And Willis Mackey picks up his first foul. It's the 4th team foul on UNOH.
UNOH.
Nate Lessing will come back on the floor. They need to get some offense from number 1.
They need some offense, period. They are desperate for some offense right now. They just look like they just can't buy a basket.
The Racers' lowest output of offensively has been 56 points, and they're 15 away from that right now. Here's another 3 try, and that's another good one for Latimer. He's hit 2 in a row, and he gives Dearborn the lead for the first time tonight. It's our first lead change, and we're going to get a timeout for UNOH. So they have seen a 12-point first half lead disappear, mainly because they can't put the ball in the hole.
Hey, you knew at some point Michigan was going to get hot, especially from distance, because they got some shooters and they got themselves hot. But you're right. At the same time, UNOH can't buy baskets at the other end, and they bottled up Mackey, and the others have just not been able to really help that much. So timeout that time was actually called by Dearborn, which kind of shocks me, Mike. They just came down and made 2 threes in a row, and they took the lead, and you've got momentum, and you put more pressure on this young UNOH team, and then you call a timeout. I don't get that.
Well, I'm sure that Taylor Langley in his 5th year at Dearborn had a good reason. He's got them all on the bench, and he's coaching them up big time. So
Yep.
maybe he's going to change philosophy now that he's got the lead a little bit.
Well, that's true, and they've actually had some pretty good looks at the basket all night. They just have been like UNOH. They can't buy a basket, but they caught fire. You knew that one of these teams. I thought both of them would get hot in the second half, but neither one has until now. Dearborn has gotten hot. Now we'll see if UNH can come out and find a couple hot hands and get it turned back in their favor.
Tough not to call them Michigan. You look out there, they're called the Wolverines, and they're in maize and blue.
Yeah, they got the same uniforms.
And it is a branch of the University of Michigan at Dearborn, right in the Detroit area. And like their women's team, this men's team has really come on strong here the last couple of years.
Yeah, they were the bottom of the league for many years. They were kind of like a branch campus, but they put some time and effort and money into their program, and it's starting to pay off.
All right, Racers will face full court pressure. Tanner Eubank takes the inbounds pass, and he will dump it, and then they steal. Mafian Joyner stole it and jammed it. So a very poor play by that young Racer backcourt, and it cost them the turnover and a Mafian Joyner slam jam and a 3-point lead, and now a foul on Jalen Paul near midcourt, and he knew it.
And last time
got a little too over anxious defensively that time, did the young sophomore, and Jalen picks up his 2nd personal.
Michigan will drop back in the zone that time. They came out of that timeout and trapped Tyler Eubank, and Eubank coughed it up, led to a dunk.
All right, Racers down 3 now to Dearborn. Zach Montes into the forecourt. Nate Lessing on the wing. Back to Montes. Montes in the corner for Golson. Around to Lessing again. They run at him in this zone. They know that Lessing can shoot, and they don't want to give him anything, and he has been held scoreless so far tonight. Here's Mackey, who has not been held scoreless. He hits a turnaround 12-footer. Well, if Willis Mackey had been ill tonight, this game would be a blowout for Dearborn, but Mackey's got 20 of the Racer 43.
Racers have to really clamp down defensively now.
Down a point. Xavier Crawford starts it with Gigliotti going right to the rim and getting the roll. Gigliotti saw just a little sliver in opening and took advantage.
I'm not sure what happened that time. It's like the defense, some of them are in the zone and some of them are in a man-to-man.
Isaac Golson has it now for the Racers to the top of the key, off to Montes on the wing. Lessing from the corner. Yes, finally. Nate Lessing hits his first 3 of the night and ties the ball game at 46.
And that'll start him up now, Mike. You watch.
That is the first tie we've had tonight in this game. 5 minutes to play. 46 tie. Mafian Joyner releases to Paul out front. Joyner gets it back. Joyner off the dribble, shoots a 3 and knocks it down. So all of a sudden, after hitting only 1 of 10 in the first half for Dearborn, they have made a half a dozen threes here in the second half. Olsby Mercer off to Golson. That 3 try from the right corner misses everything. Wow, Isaac really misfired on that play. He's had a couple of those tonight.
Air ball.
And the problems that have come from the corner. He's had like 3 air balls from the corner. He made the 2 that he took from the top of the key. Now Joyner with a 3-point lead in the ball with 12 to shoot. Joyner goes against Mackey on the left side. Mafian Joyner trying to shake and bake. Got Mackey in the air and then threw up a bad shot. Good defense by Willis. Foul in the backcourt on Joyner.
Joyner made the mistake. He missed the basket. He got mad and followed his missed shot with a mistake by fouling.
And Cody Kegley's going to come back in now for Coach Taylor Langley. And Latimer's going to go to the bench. No, it's going to be Xavier Crawford going to the bench.
So is Mackey, Mike. They're going to give him a little bit of a breather, try to bring him in the last couple minutes.
Racers down 3, still plenty of time, 3:55 and counting in the second half. Isaac Golson, deep left wing, out top to Mottes. Mottes penetrates, has it knocked away, picked up by Lessing. Now Zach again. The zone has really created a lot of problems for the Racers. They just can't get into an offense. Mottes will penetrate, shot clock at 8. Mercer going to get inside and throw it up, but too strong, and the rebound comes down to the Wolverines. Jalen Paul will push it up court with a 3-point lead. Finds Joyner, 18-footer, yes, Mafian Joyner. You can see why he's the team's leading scorer. He comes off the bench, but he's instant offense. And his team now has a 5-point lead, their biggest of the night. Can this young Racer team rally? It's been their problem all year long. They go well for about 30 minutes, and then they start to fade, and they turn it over again with a bad bounce pass in the lane. Joyner gets the pass ahead of the group and gets fouled by Zach Montez.
He's going to have to get Mackey back in this game.
Montez with his second foul, but a 2-shot opportunity now for Mafian Joyner. Willis Mackey at the check-in table ready to come in, but this is a 2-shot opportunity for a 79% free throw shooter. Looking for his 12th point. It is up and short. So a rare miss for Joyner. Mackey comes in. Justin Kemp goes to the bench. One more for Mafian Joyner, who is from Battle Creek out of Kellogg Community College. Second free throw good. Joyner has an even dozen. He averages 13.5. Xavier Crawford back in now for the Wolverines.
Michigan is going to go into their full court pressure, and I don't think it's going to be designed to steal the ball as much as it is to just force UNOH to use as much of the clock as possible.
All righty. Ball is inbound to Isaac Golson. He's one-on-one in the backcourt. Drives it across the timeline, and then they run and foul him. Mafian Joyner, no doubt about that. He just played like a linebacker and blocked him out of bounds.
Well, he'd be doing UNOH a great favor if he would get them on the free throw line, because they haven't scored.
Well, we got a break in the action here on the Citizens National Bank scoreboard. It's Dearborn 52, UNOH 46. We're back in 1 minute on UNOHRacers.com and here in Lima on 1150 WIMA.
I'm Kylie Fritz, and I'm from Delphus, and I'm a UNOH student. I chose to come to UNOH because of the small class sizes. It was close to home, and I knew I had the opportunity to be a cheerleader. UNOH is a family tradition for us because my brother, my sister, my brother-in-law, and even my grandmother graduated from here. I would definitely recommend UNOH to anyone looking for a great university experience. I'm proud to be a racer.
Did you know the University of Northwestern Ohio has the lowest tuition cost in the state for private colleges and is the largest university in the region? It's no wonder why more and more high school seniors are choosing to attend UNOH. Accredited, achievable, affordable.
Stop by for a visit and see why over 4,500 students from around the corner and around the world call UNOH home.
UNOH Racer Athletes, 14.
All righty, 2:47 to play. Racers trail by 6, their biggest deficit of the night. UNOH led for 3/4 of this game, But Dearborn has come on strong. Some good three-point shooting from the likes of Zach Latimer and Jalen Paul and Mafian Joyner have brought them back into this ball game. They've also gone 5 of 8 at the free throw line here in the second half. And the Racers have not been able to buy a hoop for the most part.
15 points in the second half, Mike. You're just not going to beat anybody if you score 15 points in a half. And so hopefully this zone has just forced UNOH into taking some tough shots, and they've had trouble dropping the ones that were open.
All right, Racer ball coming out of the timeout. Let's see what they try to set up against the zone. They bring Mackey out to the right wing, and then a blocking foul after an Academy Award performance on the part of Cody Kegley, who did get run into, but he jumped into the path of Willis Mackey to draw what he hoped to be was a charge, but Kegley's called for the foul, his first, team 6th.
And just as importantly, the next foul will put UNOH in the bonus, and if you can't score from the field, you can score from the free throw line. You can't guard the free throw line, Mike.
That's true, but you got to get the right guys there.
No kidding.
The Racers are only 3 of 11 in the free throw department in this game, so there's, you make 6 of those other 8 free throws, and you're tied right now.
Right.
So we had a little house cleaning there along the baseline with the floor drying implement brought out, which I don't think does much. I don't think they got their money's worth with that floor dryer thing they got. It doesn't dry much. Meanwhile, the Racers inbound to Zach Matas. Gives it off to Golson. 2:30 left to play. Racers only down 6, so it's a 2-possession game right now. Blessing to Golson. In the paint they go with a bad bounce pass. And is it a turnover? They're still scrambling, and finally we get a held ball. And the arrow will go the other way, so it is a turnover.
Isaac Golson with just a terrible pass inside. He can't make that pass.
Yeah, trying to really force things into Willis Mackey that time, and Golson's going to come out of the ball game. Laji Samora will go back in. Remember, Isaac's a true freshman out of Grand Blanc, Michigan.
Right.
Learning as he goes here. We got 7 freshmen on this Racer roster, and virtually all of them play. Alex Cuff, the only freshman that doesn't see a lot of playing time right now for UNOH. So it's very much a work in progress. Mafian Joyner steps back for a 3, missed that one, and then Montez rebounds for UNOH. Still a 6-point game and exactly 2 minutes left.
Surprised he took that shot.
Montez off to Samora. Right side for Lessing. Laji again around to Montez. Open 3, corner left. No, it just won't go. Racers can't buy a hoop.
Nope, they can't. He was wide open.
They had the shot he wanted. Had a great stroke. It just rimmed out on him. And a whistle. Timeout for UNO, and Coach Caleb Williams is just jumping up and down like a wild man over there. Can't believe that they granted the timeout call when he thought that there was a travel before anything happened. So Caleb Williams is giving Mason Seiler an earful right now, and Caleb is about as docile a guy as you're ever going to find on the face of the earth, but he's hot right now. So they granted the timeout to the Maize and Blue with 1:38 left to play in this ball game, and a 6-point Dearborn lead.
Yeah, the UNOH has had a lot. They've had some wide open shots, but the defense that's designed here is designed to put pressure on the ball up the court. But once they collapse into their 2-3 zone, their function is to stop the ball from going into Willis Mackey, who's had a great game, but he can't touch the ball because everybody's packed in, which has allowed several open threes by shooters, but they just can't drop them tonight. Just nothing is falling.
If I'm Caleb Williams right now, I might say, well, let's go out on the perimeter. He's got a decent 16, 17-foot shot.
Yeah.
Naturally, at 6'8", you want to get to the rim when you can, but that zone is not letting him do that. And maybe if they pull him out a little bit and get him the ball, maybe he can open things up for somebody else inside.
Well, they're only 2 possessions down, and I thought the last possession for Michigan, they had a really bad shot. Somebody jacked a 3 early in the shot clock, and it opened the door for the Racers, but they came right back down and had a really costly turnover. So this game isn't over. There's plenty of time, but they're going to have to rebound a missed shot and get down to the other end of the floor.
So it's going to be Dearborn ball. Jalen Paul will inbound from across the way, right in front of his own bench, and he brings it into Cody Kegley against Lessing. Back to Paul, the sophomore from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Against the double team, finds Mafian Joyner. Now Kegley. Kegley, the veteran, gives to Paul, and they'll foul Jalen Paul. Not a real good idea because Paul is a 61% free throw shooter, and
that's the guy you want to get.
2 out of 3 tonight.
The 61% is not considered very good, but they're still not in the bonus. They've got one more to get, and they'll probably do it pretty quick here, Mike.
1:23 left on the game clock. Racers trail by 6. It's been at 6 now for about 2.5 minutes. Ball inbounded to Gigliotti, and they foul him right away. Caleb Williams bark and foul him. That's the 6th team foul. It'll be on Mackey, his second. So nobody in the Racers in personal foul problems.
Okay. They're going to put him on the line.
That's team foul 7 apparently. Okay, well, we were -1 there somewhere. Gigliotti now at the line, and we'll get a 1-and-1 situation.
Well, he's only a 61% shooter, and so you got the right guy there. But sometimes when things are going your way, even bad shooters make them.
Front end of a 1-and-1, and it's no good. Racers get the uncontested rebound.
Plenty of time here.
They need 2 threes to tie. Lessing in the corner. There's Gardner. There's one of them. Bailey Gardner right off the bench knocks down a corner 3, and Caleb Williams calls a timeout, so it's not over yet. On the Citizens National Bank scoreboard, UM-Dearborn 52, UNOH 49. Back in 30 seconds, you're listening to Racer Basketball on 1150 WIMA.
I'm Kylie Fritz, and I'm from Delphus, and I'm a UNOH student. I chose to come to UNOH because of the small class sizes. It was close to home, and I knew I had the opportunity to be a cheerleader. UNOH is a family tradition for us because my brother, my sister, my brother-in-law, and even my grandmother graduated from here. I would definitely recommend UNOH to anyone looking for a great university experience. I'm proud to be a Racer.
Did you know the University of Northwestern Ohio has the lowest tuition cost in the state for private colleges and is the largest university in the region? It's no wonder why more and more high school seniors are choosing to attend UNOH. Accredited.
On 1150 WIMA. Tomorrow night we've got Ohio State women's basketball for you. The OSU Lady Buckeyes at Penn State. And right here, we've still got a nail-biter. 3-point game, 1:12 left on the game clock.
There's an eternity in this game, and now UNOH has got time. They don't have to foul. They don't have to put anybody in the line. If the ball gets into the right person's hands, they might. But this next possession, they're going to need a defensive stop. You almost can hear Dearborn's coach over there saying, get it to the rim. If you don't score, you'll get fouled.
All right, a Wolverine basketball. Racers will not press. Well, they'll token press, will the Racers. And they bring the ball into Mafian Joyner. He'll get into the forecourt and use some clock. Again, the Racers don't need to foul here. They'll get at least one more possession. And now timeout is called by Coach Taylor Langley. So that's an interesting strategy there. Although he's got plenty left, he's still got 2 left. And with only less than a minute to play, plenty of maneuvering room.
He's got a lot of options on the floor right now. Number 4, the little Jalen Paul could hold that ball for a while and just attack. He's got several players who are very good at getting to the basket, at attacking the rim, and I think that's the most critical part of this play. This play is going to end up with a pick and roll at the top, and they're going to make sure that they can stop the driver and the roller. So the help defense is going to be very important in this last 17 seconds on this shot clock. But this is the most important possession to this point in the game, because if UNOH can stop them, they can come down and cut into this lead or tie it.
Well, they're only down 3 at 52-49. The lowest Racer output this year offensively has been 56 points, so they may not get there tonight. This might be their lowest offensive game of the year unless we go overtime for some reason.
Well, unless they get hot. it was very interesting that Lessing finally made a 3 here recently, but throughout the course of this game between Lessing and Montez, I don't think they've been held like that all year.
Well, those two players average 32 points a game. Tonight they have a total of 9.
Right. And you got to give Dearborn a lot of credit for that. I mean, their scouting report knew what to do. The first time they played, they won by 20 against UNOH, but Mackey did not play. So they're seeing Mackey for the first time, and he's showing him something, but to this point, it's not enough.
Yeah, Willis was injured the first time they played earlier in the year. So now the Wolverines get the ball inbounds, 16 on the shot clock. Jalen Paul has it, their point guard, right in front of his own bench on the right wing. Paul off a screen, the pick and roll not there. Now they bring the second man through, but the ball's spattered around, and finally we get a held ball, but the arrow goes in favor of UNOH. So it's a turnover, Dearborn.
They set a pick and roll up between their big center and Paul, and they almost got the cutting joiner to the basket, but he left the ball on the floor a little too long, and give UNOH a lot of credit. They went after that ball. They got down there and got it.
All right, we're trying that wipe-up situation again under the Dearborn bench. Now the Wolverines will not press. They're going to sit back in a 2-3 zone. And the Racers have 42.9 seconds to try to get 3 points and tie this up.
Well, they don't need a 3 here. I mean, if they can get a 2, if they can get into Mackey, they've got to do it. But he did bring in off the bench Bailey Gardner, who is a 3-point shooter.
He just hit the last 3 that got him close.
And so he'll stay on the floor here. But so you've got Lessing and Montez and Gardner outside. All 3 can hit shots.
Yes.
Golson
this is really funny. They've got these handled mop type things that they just brought this year at UNOH, and they'll be out there for like 20 seconds drying the floor off, and then they go get towels and finish the job because the mop thing doesn't work very well.
The old-fashioned way.
All righty, now we're ready to go. It's down to the wire, and the Racers need 3 to tie. Golson has it right wing. Isaac out top for Gardner. Around to Montez. 22 on the shot clock. That comes to the right wing to Isaac Golson. Golson now goes back right side again for Montez. Montez gets to the foul line. Montez drives and dishes. Golson out top. Lessing fires a 3 off the back rim. No. Rebound, Willis Mackey. Mackey going to try to drive. No, they get it to the corner. Here's Gardner for 3. Yes! Bailey Gardner, 13 seconds, ties the game. We're tied at 52. Back come the Wolverines with Kegley. Kegley shoots. No good. Rebound, Racers. And Golson's going to push it up. 2 seconds. Here's Gardner for the win. And it's no good at the buzzer. Well, that was Montez, but the Racers have tied it, and we're going to overtime. Wow, the freshman Bailey Gardner hits 2 back-to-back 3s in the final minute of play. And the Racers have tied this thing at 52. We're going to play 5 extra minutes.
Well, Coach Langley, with like 16, 15, 14 seconds left, chose to not take a timeout. He thought the ball was in movement. He thought he could get a good shot out of it, but UNOH got back and played great defense. They got that rebound, and give Isaac Golson credit. He knew what time was left on the clock. He got the ball, and he raced down the other end of the floor and was able to get the ball up into the corner for a last-second shot by, who took that last-second shot? I think it was
Zach Montez. Montez took the very last shot, but he really didn't have much of a chance.
Yeah, and if he had made that, it would have been very similar to the very first game of the year when Montez made a shot like that down along the baseline against Taylor. But like just a minute ago, it looked like UNOH was going to go home.
Bailey Gardner, the hero of the moment for UNOH. He's only made 3 shots tonight, but all 3 of them have been 3s, and the last 2 came in the final set about 40 seconds. So we're tied at 52, and we got a 5-minute overtime coming up here on 1150 WIMA and UNOHRacers.com on the internet.
Well, you would have to say that the momentum at this point belongs to UNOH. It took them a while to find it, but they got hot there in the last minute, got a couple 3s to drop, and played some good defense. The defense was actually the key both times. They were able to stop.
Another interesting side point, Bob, is that the Racers only had 4 free throw attempts the entire second half, and they missed all 4 of them. You make one of those free throws, this game's over.
Yep.
All righty. We are tied at 52 as we head to the overtime, only the second tie of the ball game. Willis Mackey, Gigliotti tip, and Mackey controls it to Montez. The Racers have done pretty good in overtime so far this year. They won their game against Cincinnati Christian, the only one on their home floor in the OT. Montez on the right side to Gardner, around to Golson. Open 3, no good. Rebound, Willis Mackey took it right away from Jalen Paul.
Dearborn is going to let Golson shoot all the threes he wants, Mike.
Isaac has not had the range tonight, but Bailey Gardner certainly has, and he's still on the floor for UNOH. We're in the overtime with a fresh shot clock that has already wound down to 11. Here's Gardner in the corner. Now to Mackey. Willis Mackey against the double team into Lessing. Got it up and in. Nate Lessing.
Mackey was double teamed, so he found his teammate who was open. A great play by Mackey.
Only the second lead change of the ball game. Racers back on top by 2. Xavier Crawford gives to Jalen Paul in the far right wing for the Wolverines. Now Kegley with it. Back to Paul, deep right side. And the Racers take it away. Nate Lessing makes a steal on the baseline. That's a turnover. And the 13th of the game for the Wolverines.
A lot of time.
Racer basketball, Montez, cross court, Lessing in the paint to Mackey. Mackey turns on Gigliotti against the double team. Threw it up and got it with a foul. Oh my goodness, Willis Mackey Jr. pumping those fists.
That was a prayer. He was kind of desperate, and he got in the air and kind of spun around and threw something up at the same time. Coach Langley doesn't like the call, but UNOH fans here at the garage are all standing. They love it. I'm surprised that Joyner's not back in this game.
Well, he's coming back. He just got up off the bench, Mafian Joyner. But right now, Willis Mackey with an add 1, and he is going to get the kind bounce here at Racer Gymnasium for his 23rd point of the night. UNOH with a 5-point lead here in the overtime. 57-52, 3:20 and counting left in this ball game.
Eternity, it comes down to defense and rebounds here, Mike.
Jalen Paul off a screen from Joyner. Back to Mafian. They'll give it to number 14. That's Latimer back on the floor. Haven't seen him for a while. Gigliotti going to turn and miss, but get fouled. That'll be on Willis Mackey. Well, Gigliotti said, I'm going to the hoop. I don't care who's in my way that time.
Yeah.
He put that 6'9" frame on the left block and just muscled it up through the foul on Mackey, his second.
You try to clear out a little space for him so he can go one-on-one against Mackey. The thing with Gigliotti is he's not a great free throw shooter.
And this time he puts it in and out, no good.
So the foul is good, and Mackey only has 2 fouls, so he can waste some more. The other thing about Gigliotti is that he does dribble a lot when he gets the ball. So, a guard on his side of the floor could swipe that dribble as he tries to back into the basket.
Racers scored the first 5 points in the overtime. Gigliotti with a free throw left. He makes the second one. That gives him 10 points on the night. And the Racer lead is 4 against pressure in the backcourt. Lessing takes it. Back to Montez. Montez through traffic into the forecourt. Needs help. Finds Mackey. Mackey on the wing. Back to Montez out front. Down to 2:50 left in the OT. We were tied at 52 in regulation. It's now 57-53 Racers.
Mike, and Michigan goes to a man-to-man.
Interesting. That'll help Mackey if they can get him the ball. Willis has it now, but he's out behind the line. Goes to the rim, put it on the iron. Didn't get the call just as time expired. That ball was airborne before the 30-second time clock went off, but it didn't fall. Dearborn got the rebound, and they're back in the forecourt now, trailing by 4. Xavier Crawford off the weave, comes to the left wing. Crawford still on his dribble. Trying to create something. Xavier gets to the rim and can't finish, and it's out of bounds off of UNOH.
That ball rolled up. They had a chance to get that rebound, but it slipped off of the big man's hands and went out of bounds.
Oglesby Mercer going to come in now for Bailey Gardner. Coach Caleb Williams playing offense, defense.
That's exactly what he's doing here.
Gardner, just a freshman, not as schooled as Mercer is defensively. Joyner's going to toss it in, or rather Crawford does, to Latimer. Now back to Crawford on the wing to Latimer. They run at him. They don't let him take that three. Latimer got around him, and then they call a blocking foul on Zach Matas. So that will allow a 1-and-1 opportunity for Zach Latimer. And now Gardner will come back in offensively for Oglesby Mercer. So Zach Latimer, who has not been to the free throw line tonight, but on the year is a 67% free throw shooter, gets a 1-and-1.
He's a great three-point shooter, so he's probably a pretty good shooter. I'm sure Coach would like to have this kid on the line.
The first one is good.
That time, Latimer's their leading three-point shooter, and that's why he was fouled. They got up in him pretty close defensively and made him drive.
Second free throw, Zach Latimer on its way and good. So it's a 2-point game after back-to-back free throws by the 6'4" freshman from Mishawaka, Indiana. Racers get it inbounds. UNOH scored the first 5 points, but now a 3-0 run by Dearborn has them right back in it. 1:50 to play. 2-point basketball game in overtime.
Man-to-man by Dearborn. UNOH should get a play.
All right, Montez gets a high screen. Zach's going to go inside and throw it. He had a shot at the rim, but didn't take it. Lessing's three is off target, and the rebound comes to Gigliotti.
I thought Montez would finish that at the rim. I thought he had a look.
Well, he did have a look. He just didn't decide to take it. So now a 2 can tie for the Wolverines, or a 3 will give them the lead. Cody Kegley inside against Bailey Gardner, and Gardner just took the ball right away from him. Kegley lost control on the shot attempt.
He wanted a foul, but there was no foul.
So the Racers still have the lead in the ball by 2. 1 minute left in the OT. Zach Matas gives to Gardner. Bailey Gardner, who was the hero late regulation with those 2 threes that tied it. Now Willis Mackey from the right side over Gigliotti. Will not get the ball to fall, but did draw the foul.
That's a gamble that he's taking right now. Coach Langley is taking by going man-to-man. It's allowing the Racers to get the ball into Mackey's hands, and once he caught it, they double-teamed him, but he's got it low enough to the basket he can get a shot off.
4 fouls in the game on Jason Gigliotti, the 6'9" center. Willis Mackey, the 6'8" Racer center at the line now with 2. And the first one, yes. Mafian Joyner comes back in for Dearborn offensively. Oglesby Mercer comes back in for the Racers defensively. Mackey's second free throw, nothing but net.
He's kind of shattered his career high, hasn't he, Mike?
17 was the high. He's got 25 tonight.
And he's got a ton of rebounds.
And a bunch of rebounds. He'll have a double-double, no doubt about that, I would think. And 59-55 is our score, and the timeout is taken by the Dearborn Wolverines with 49.3 seconds left to play.
Coach Langley for the Dearborn Wolverines are really working the officials right now. Not badly, he's just making sure he gets the next call down at this end. He says, I want the same call down here that he got down there. And so that's good coaching, Mike. You got to do that. You don't do it in an angry sort of way. You just make sure they get the message.
All righty. It's been I won't say it's been a great ball game because neither team really played offensively very well all night long, but it's sure been an exciting ball game.
It's exciting and interesting, and there's no question about that. But when you get down in these late game situations, Mike, it always comes down to 2 things. It comes down to rebounding a missed shot and making free throws. That's it in every game at every level. The last minute of a close game, it comes down to rebounding a missed shot. If they miss, don't let them get an offensive rebound. And then when you get fouled, make your free throws. for both teams.
Right, and the Racers have done well here in the OT. They have had 3 free throws attempted, and they've made all 3 of them, even though in the game, regulation 40-minute game, they were only 3 of 11.
Right. Those are the kind of thing coaches look at when they go home and you lose a close game, and then you look down and see really a bad free throw night, and you think, oh my goodness, what might have been.
Yep. All righty. Racers trying to win their second home overtime game of the year.
Joyner's back in the game, Mike, and I would look for him to attack the rim pretty early in the clock.
Less than a minute to play. Racers up 4. They let the ball roll in, and Joyner will pick it up, and now the clock starts. Mafian quickly across the timeline to the right point. Out top it comes, and the shot is on its way, and good by Zach Latimer, and a quick timeout by Dearborn. So the freshman, Zach Latimer, takes the shot and knocks down a 12-footer.
That was a tough shot. He caught the ball at the top of the key and drove to his left and pulled up in an old Jerry West mid-range jump shot and dropped it right into the net. I thought when he took the shot that was going to be a tough shot to take, but he made it with confidence.
All righty. So with 41.8 seconds left, we're going to keep it right here with the Racers up 2 at 59-57. They just took a 30, so not much time to do much of anything except stop the clock and set a defense if you're Coach Langley.
And the Wolverines will not foul. They don't want to foul here because there's plenty of time for them to get the ball back and come down and score. And so they'll put some pressure on here, but the last thing they want to do is foul the Racers here.
Well, kind of reverse of what the end of the game was when the Racers needed 3 to tie. Now Dearborn needs 2 to tie. And the Racers have 41 on the game clock, 30 on the shot clock, and they got it inbounds. Blessing in the backcourt, pressure. Golson has it, needs some help. Golson gets it into the forecourt. Golson will circle the wagons and bring it out top again. Racers want to use clock. They want to shoot within the last 5 seconds of the shot clock, and it's down to 10. Zach Montes on the left side starts his dribble, goes to the baseline, lays it up and in, and let him go right to the rim. Oh my goodness. A defensive breakdown by Dearborn. It's a 2-possession game. A shot by Crawford is not going to go, and bodies fly everywhere. We got 3 players on the deck, and boy, there was some hard. Oh, I hope everybody's all right with that one. That would look like a 3-car collision on I-75 going to the rim for that ball.
Well, Mackey got the worst of it, Mike. He's still down on the floor. And
I hope it's not a concussion because heads were hit hard, and Willis Mackey now sitting up, so I think he's going to be okay. He's getting up.
I don't think he caused the collision.
He didn't cause it. No.
I think they called him for it.
The Wolverines were blasting to that rebound, but so was Willis. So they got him for the foul. 8 seconds to play in the ball game. Mackey called for his 3rd foul.
You know, Mike, in this situation, I used to tell my guys all the time, if he makes these make or miss, UNOH is still going to get the ball with the lead. And what they got to think, they can't be afraid of the ball. If a teammate is in trouble, come to him. Don't be afraid of the ball. Come and get the ball.
Mafian Joyner's free throw is good. That gives him 13 on the night. So Joyner will get one more to make it a 3-point or 2-point game again. Joyner's shot is on its way and good. Mafian makes them both. And we get another quick timeout for UNOH. This will be a full timeout, so we'll take a break as well. On the Citizens National Bank scoreboard in overtime, Racers 61, Dearborn 59. Back for the finals, exciting moments in 30 seconds on UNOHRacers.com and here in Lima on 1150 WIMO. All right, well, game reset. We're in overtime, 8.1 seconds on the clock. UNOH up by 2 at 61-59. Racers will have the ball. They'll have to come the length of the court. If you're Taylor Langley and Dearborn Bob Sagerson, what do you do?
Well, he's going to press, and he's going to trap the first pass, and he's probably going to let him have one trap to see if they can get a steal on the pass. If not, they'll foul immediately. At the other end of the floor, Coach Williams is trying to figure out who do I want to have the ball in the hands, and he's got to get it to Montez and Lessing, the two best free throw shooters here, and so that they're the ones going to the free throw line. So look for Michigan to get one hard trap and try to get a steal. If it's not there, they're going to foul.
All right, Isaac Golson is the trigger man on the inbounds play against full court pressure. Racers break a man loose. It's Zach Montez with the basketball, and they quickly foul Montez.
Very nice out-of-bounds play by Coach Williams. He baited Lessing into the ball side corner and then broke Montez to the opposite side, which allowed the inbounder to run down there and hand him the ball. He took a couple seconds off the clock, and this is a guy I'd want at the line on this whole team is this young man.
Zach Montez has hit 78% of his free throws, has not been to the line tonight.
6.3 seconds, Mike. If he misses his shot, then Michigan has a chance to drive the length of the floor easily. They can get to the other end, even maybe rebound a missed shot.
Well, what's really critical here, Bob, is it's a 1-and-1.
Right.
Because it's only the 9th team foul on the Wolverines. So Montez, front end, got it.
Right. Now this is the guy you want shooting this ball. Now I know what Williams is going to do here, Mike. He's going to foul him. He's not going to let him get a three off, I don't think.
All right, Racers up 3 now. And we have the timeout charged to, I believe, the Racers. So Caleb Williams now wants this young ball club to sit and listen for 60 seconds and have exactly the strategy they want. Obviously, Montez, if he makes the shot, they can pretty much let him go down and do whatever they want because they'll have a 4-point lead.
Correct.
If he misses the shot, then they have to be careful not to foul somebody in 3-point range.
Right, right. So that's easier said than done. When I coached, I never fouled. I played defense. I trusted my defense because I was always worried that my guy would foul as he was taking a 3-point shot. But these college teams, they practice these situations. And, I've watched Caleb Williams practices. He's very detailed. And he'll stop a practice in the middle of and he'll set up a situation, say this is what we're going to do. So this isn't something that's new to the Racers. They practice this very exact scenario here.
Well, 4 games ago, they had a thrilling 82-76 overtime win over Cincinnati Christian. And that's the only overtime game they have played all year.
Yeah.
And this would only be the 6th win of the year for this Racer team and 2nd win in conference play if they can return the favor to Dearborn.
Well, Montez made the best big shot of the game when he took, obviously the young freshman Gardner made 2 threes that were pretty big, but Montez has made that great shot that gave him the breathing room, and now if he can make this free throw, he can seal it.
Racers lost by 20 up at Dearborn back in December in their first game of the conference back-to-back. Montez makes the second free throw.
Ball game.
It's pretty much a ball game right now. The Racers can token defend, but they've got a 4-point lead. They're going to let Kegley shoot a 3. He's going to miss, and the time is up as Willis Mackey gets his last rebound of the game. And a big overtime victory for Coach Caleb Williams and the UNOH Racers. The final score, UNOH 63 and the Dearborn Wolverines 59. So great win in the conference, only the 2nd conference win all year long. We'll come back with a Fat Jack's Pizza postgame show after this 90-second break on 1150 WIMA.